Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the episode. We're here, we're live.
We'll do it live.
And we're going to do it loud and proud.
Shout out to Bill O'Reilly.
I am J.R. Schwab, J.R. Schwabaport.
Young Schwabaport.
Young Schwabaport. Sitting next to me, Leak.
Cool hand Leak.
With the shades. Cool.
Cool hand Leak.
Cool shades Leak.
To the double left of me.
Black. The black one. The
Young
blackest
black
alive.
The blackest of the Moses.
Black mole.
The blackest of the black.
Kurt to God, as always, running the behind the scenes for us.
Shout out to Kurt.
We are No Hezzy Hoopcast. Welcome to another scintillating episode. We're going to do something crazy tonight.
Oh, really?
What we gonna do?
We're just going to go off the top.
Off
like
the
we
cuff?
do. We do it a lot, but this time we're going to do it really off the cuff. I didn't want to talk about injuries, but we got to talk about injuries. All right. DeMarcus Cousins goes down last night. Torn Achilles? Ruptured Achilles? Torn Achilles?
Oh, I like to call it the Kobe tendon.
Of course.
Mamba tendon.
He tore his Mamba tendon the other night, and it looked pretty bad.
Hey, he couldn't walk off the court like Kobe.
Of course
did,
he
though.
couldn't. He weighs like what? 268 pounds or something.
And he
like that?
doesn't have enough goat.
No, he's way bigger than that.
he
Bron
doesn't have
weighed
enough,
like
he doesn't have
260.
enough goat in him.
He's definitely close to 3.
This a lot of reports are saying that his injury is due to fatigue, which I mean it's not like he's played any more games than anybody else, right? I think a lot of that has to do with carrying that weight around.
But
And honestly, not to slight him, because I mean he was having a heck of a season this year, and I mean not to say it was any different than the path he's been on up till now.
Yeah.
But I mean him and Anthony Davis pretty much carrying that team. So the weight of the Pelicans franchise caused that injury, I'd say.
They're a 2.5-man show for sure, and now they're down to about 1.5 men. But
Ashton Kutcher. Oh, Ashton Kutcher.
Angle it up.
Yeah, Schwab. Me and Schwab, we trying to get our mics right
We've
right
been
now.
having mic issues all night. Lee's the only one that apparently he's got his down.
We need shades.
Yeah, apparently.
Hey, you need a lot more than that if you're trying to get like this.
All right, so my question to you guys is how does this affect the Pelicans' path this year?
Well, they slide out of the 6th seed, that's for sure.
Are they even deserving of a 6th seed?
I would like to see them in the playoffs.
You're only deserving of a 6th seed if you win enough games to get a 6th seed.
That is true.
They're gonna slide out of that.
I would have liked to have seen them in the playoffs with those two guys.
I think everybody was finally looking forward to DeMarcus Cousins being in the postseason for the first time. That's been one knock on his career.
It's crazy. DeMarcus, they could conceivably make the playoffs, and DeMarcus Cousins can still not have played a playoff game in his career. Honestly though, man, we laughing and all that, but get well soon, because that's devastating. For anyone to have to go through that.
And he's not the only one that went down over the past couple of days either.
It was rough last night watching Andre Robertson's face, the way he slid across the floor after the patellar tendon. I honestly, God, I don't know what that was.
I didn't know what that was.
I was going to look. Is it your knee? Anybody know?
Okay,
the kneecap or whatever, right below your kneecap?
Yeah, we need a medical guy for No Hezzy.
Between the kneecap and the shin bone. That muscle right there that you feel is your patella.
Okay, basically what makes your knee tick, what makes your knee bend and do everything.
Schwab, don't just start making up stuff.
Well, it's the patella tendon and the meniscus. The meniscus is above the kneecap.
All right, so I got official No Hezzy documentation.
Dr. Kurt was giving us the lowdown real quick.
The patellar tendon attaches the bottom of the kneecap, the patella, to the top of the shin bone, tibia. It's actually a ligament that connects two different bones, the patella and the tibia. The patella attached to the quadriceps muscle by the quadriceps tendon.
So it's pretty much connecting the knee together. At least the knee to the bottom part of the kneecap to your bottom part of your leg.
Correct.
Can we move on?
I mean,
do we have that yet?
I had it right the first time.
No, look, that was a freak accident, man.
Absolutely. It looked like he even slipped almost.
I think he slipped.
Yeah,
You heard
it was moisture on the court.
Shoe.
Yeah.
I went back and watched it.
That was his knee giving out on him.
Ooh,
It snaps like a rubber band.
So he on the way up, he was done.
Yeah.
He already knew it.
Before he even went up, you
Pushed
could
off.
tell he was.
Let's be very clear. Andre Roberson, aside from his offensive deficiency, was the guy that made their defense tick. Let's say that, especially on the perimeter. He's one of the better defenders in the league.
Absolutely.
And now that he's gone for what looks like the season, that's gonna definitely come into play come playoff time.
Yeah, Paul George is gonna have to really man down that wing defense.
Because Carmelo ain't playing that.
Russ has been playing a lot more aggressive.
Russ
he always plays defense, but he's been a lot more aggressive with his
Well, he's a
defense
gambler.
lately.
He's a gambler.
Russ is not by any means to me is not. I wouldn't consider him a defender. He gives effort. I'll say that.
He's giving more effort.
I mean, really, what it comes down to was something when you put up as much points or much offensive output. I think a lot of it is about at the end of the game, can you get a stop? I think Russell Westbrook is one of those guys who can definitely get a stop on a point guard at the end of the game.
Depending on who he's guarding.
And most games these days come down to the last 5-6 minutes anyway. So it's like you said.
Well, some guys are unstoppable, Black.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So I mean, so if we can really start picking names, we could just do that all night as well, right? James Harden, Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
I mean,
those
Lillard.
are he's gonna have to get stops on those guys in the playoffs though.
Yeah, at the end of the game, which
So
he's
we'll
got
see.
the ability to do that.
We'll see.
We'll see if
about
he will, but I'm saying he got the ability to do that. I don't think he's not focused on defense at all.
One guy that was focused on defense just got shut down for the rest of the season, and that new tank rolls on in Memphis. Mike Conley was shut down. Are they in full tank mode? Do you trade Marc Gasol? What do you do if you're the Grizzlies? Man? Real quick, we don't have to spend a lot of time on that.
Hell no, you don't trade Marc Gasol because you got rid of your coach for Marc Gasol. So I think he's staying. I think what they are doing though is they're trying to solidify a pick, obviously, because the team isn't doing anything this year. So they're trying to get a pick. And they're trying to focus on future. And I'm hearing they're going to trade Tyreke Evans out that thing too. So who knows what that team's going to look like at the end of the season.
What do they need in a pick?
Everything.
Talking about a pick. What do you need in a pick?
They need everything. Matter of fact, man, I'm over Memphis, man. They got rid of Coach Fizz. Take that for data.
Get him out of here. Let's go back. Actually,
You get suppressed.
Shout out to Mike Conley,
franchise
though,
to the
man.
G League.
Mike Conley was a good player, though.
Mike Conley is a good player. I think you should trade Mike Conley and Marc Gasol and suppress the franchise to the G League.
Zebo, what happened to your hood?
Make Memphis a real strong G League hotspot.
Man, listen to you.
Some historical G League.
Yeah, have a historical G League franchise.
Yeah.
With that civil rights DNA, I think they can make that work. Schwab. Question for you guys though. Going back to DeMarcus Cousins, who was probably the biggest injury news of the weekend. Do you now re-sign DeMarcus Cousins, or do you let him walk? Do you trade? What do you do now?
Try to re-sign him.
Because he's expecting max money at this point.
Well, not anymore, I don't think.
But do you punish him for getting hurt?
He'll expect the max money though.
Absolutely.
I don't think it's going to be any difference. DeMarcus
No,
Cousins is looking for a max.
Yo, if Joel Embiid get close to maxed out and he's only played 30 games to the point where he signed his contract, DeMarcus Cousins is about to get guapped out. Let's be very clear.
I think he can get a max in like extreme purgatory. And he might be able
extreme purgatory
he'll
down.
be able to get something close to it in New Orleans, but it depends. If when he comes back,
would the Lakers max out DeMarcus Cousins?
nah, I don't think so. I think we're gonna see also.
DeMarcus Cousins would easily get maxed out.
I think Magic Johnson would throw the bag.
Well,
at
we
him
don't know how.
without question.
Come on, this guy was out of shape for the last 4 or 5 seasons. He could barely run. He tore his Achilles. We don't know what his work ethic is really like for him to work himself back from that. So to give him max money is to enable that, man.
See.
A week ago, though, if I would have told you with the way he's playing, you would have gladly taken Marcus Cousins on a max contract.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but he's.
I'm just saying, though.
Schwab, he would have for sure.
That's before he has an injury that
But he can't help
But that's
that,
what I'm
man.
saying.
You can't.
You're gonna hate on him for doing.
He can't help
an
that,
injury?
man. Didn't Wesley Matthews have an Achilles injury?
Yeah.
And Rudy Gay had an Achilles.
Yeah.
It don't matter about what type of shape you're in. It's just something that happens. Stress.
No, I'm
over
saying
time.
as far as coming back too.
I feel like you slighting DeMarcus Cousins right
Absolutely,
now.
yeah.
And I'm one of the biggest DeMarcus
Absolutely.
Cousins haters. So.
Well, I mean, you act like do I have a reason to slide him? I absolutely have a reason to not see this man as a max contract coming back. I mean,
I guess I think we
I don't think
agree
he's
to
gonna get the
disagree on
max.
that one.
I don't think he's gonna get max dollars coming off that type of injury.
I think it depends on how
When will he
comes
be
back.
ready?
It said 6 to 10 months. So 6 months from now is still the middle of summer. 10 months is the beginning of the season.
Back to, I'm assuming that means back to playing. It would be the 10 months. Rudy came back quick. Didn't Rudy come back towards Achilles last year? It was January last year he tore it, and he started. Yeah, he started with San Antonio this year. And he's never been injured. Rudy Gay had been injured before that too. He had never been. DeMarcus had never been seriously injured for sitting.
Yeah, this is his biggest injury to
never
date
torn
for sure.
anything or broken anything or strained anything.
And Gordon Hayward looking like
He had strain. But they got worked out in the offseason 2 seasons ago.
Gordon Hayward looking like he about to be back for playoffs. So it's all. I feel like it's all relative.
Let's talk about that real quick.
Yes.
What that man gonna be able to do? What he gonna be able to do in playoff intensity on that leg?
See, I'm
off the bench.
See, I have a.
Terrorize second unit.
I have a narrative, and I feel like you have a narrative on this, and I've been peeping your narrative.
Is he gonna come back?
Because you said the other day they should trade him.
Well, yeah. That did say that. But that's like that was.
And I'm like, what?
That's like.
And I'm like, what?
That's like.
Piece coming in.
Yeah, that's. I was kind of joking around on that though. But yeah, but now is he really gonna come back and terrorize in the second unit though? Like, will he?
I think so.
You think he'll be able to?
He just stood there and caught it. And
What about on the other end though?
Look, let's be very clear. Let's be very clear. Right now, what they're lacking is depth because when Kyrie sits down, they literally have no scoring.
I was watching the Warriors Celtics game last night, and at least 2 or 3 times they mentioned every time Kyrie goes out of the game in any game this season, their offense just is stagnant. Nobody's really scoring. They're getting the lucky bucket here, not lucky bucket, but getting a bucket here and there. But really, Kyrie is initiating everything within that offense.
And let's be clear, Al Horford is not, terrorizing the league right now either offensively. So I think anytime you can have, an all-star on the floor at a time, if Kyrie sits, if you can have another all-star on the floor, I think that definitely helps and not hurts for sure. Now, what he'll be able to do when he comes back, if he comes back that soon, that remains to be seen because, I don't know how explosive he'll be. But if he can knock down shots, heck yeah, I'll take him because the playoffs is going to be tough for them without him, for sure.
I just don't want to see him come back too
early.
They won't let him.
And then something.
Hey, PG came back, remember?
Yeah, but, PG was mobile. He wasn't what he was. And
they were out of the playoffs,
They were very
weren't
desperate.
No,
they made the
playoffs.
playoffs.
Yeah.
They made the playoffs.
But they were on the cusp, though. But yeah, and that's pretty much why. Because they were right there on the cusp, and they really had no shot.
Yeah.
That kid, that's Brad Stevens' homeboy. He is ingrained in that culture.
There's no need to rush him back. That's for sure.
Okay, so then,
I'd like to see it personally.
So let's bring up the next topic. What's going on in Cleveland? Because if Cleveland's playing the way they are right now, Celtics don't need Gordon Hayward. They could probably be able to take him right now as is.
That's a hot take.
It is a hot take. It's a very hot take.
That's a hot take.
Because last time we talked, we had our first guest on the show, Mike, we were talking about Isaiah Thomas.
Shout out to Mike.
And we said,
Yo, Mike.
he looked good his first 2 games. He hasn't looked that good. And you mentioned to me the other night, he's walking with the limp out there. His hip is moving.
Yeah, he looks very hobbled. He looks very hobbled.
You brought up the other day, should they talk about trading K-Love?
Well, if I was K-Love, I'd want to leave. Just off the simple fact that every time something goes wrong there, it's his fault. Mind you, he's the second most productive player on that team. and the second most consistent player on that team next to Bron. So I think he could do. I mean,
Player in the league.
exactly. I think he could do, and we see Kyrie outside of a Bron system shine more. So I think that if I was K-Love, I'd want to play on a team now having a chip under my belt that will respect my talents and allow me to do what I do best. They don't even go to the post with him. He gets kickouts more than anything else.
He is a.
They reduced him to a spot-up shooter.
He's been reduced.
He's the new Kyle Korver. Where's he at, by the way?
Ron reduced him to a permanent stretch 4.
Yeah, Kyle Korver's underplaying right now.
Everybody is.
J.R. Smith.
J.R. Smith, Derrick Rose. If he's taking a bathroom break.
J.R.
Get
Smith,
that man a diaper.
Yo, J.R. Smith might be the only starting shooting guard in the league, averaging less than 6 points a game.
And he complained about D Wade starting over him.
Yo, he played
D-Wade.
He played like 24 minutes a game and averaged like 5 points a game.
Yo, and I don't. Do you guys, or is it just me, think it's a little weird that D Wade hasn't really been very vocal either about anything?
Because he's the sub in this. Ron is his dumb. He's got to go along with it.
I think over that, I think D-Wade is not really tripping how this thing goes.
He's just trying to he's trying to cruise his way. He's trying to cruise his way through a few playoffs.
He's making his amends for Bron coming to the Heat, getting him a couple more titles. Now he's just here to try and help Bron out.
Right.
Help
He like owes Bron. He owes Bron this much.
He lightweight knew he was washed, so he went to go play with Cleveland.
Nah, look. I think their dysfunction is part of the problem for why they're not playing very well. They're not playing defense.
The land of dysfunction.
They're not playing defense very well at all. But I think Isaiah Thomas has been out of line, and I think somebody needs to step in and put him back in his place and let him know this isn't Boston anymore. You're in a different franchise.
Okay, I was going to ask, how much of this is Isaiah Thomas coming to a new team, trying to assimilate with all these guys? He had the ball in his hand.
Is he trying to?
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, is he having a hard time adjusting? Is he over-adjusting? Is he keeping the ball in his hands too much?
I don't think he's
trying. He was
trying.
the ball-dominant guard in Boston.
I don't think he's trying to assimilate. I think he's trying to be Isaiah Thomas. And in a Bron system, that's not gonna work because you need to be where Bron needs you to be. You need to do what Bron needs you to do. And Isaiah Thomas he looked like he's not compliant with that.
Well, Bron wants him to go. Bron's telling him to go, to test it out and see what is, So it's just not. Isaiah don't look healthy. I'm listening at you spew this narrative on Isaiah Thomas being some rogue, some rogue guard, that's a cancer in Bron's system.
I think I'm gonna go on a limb and say Isaiah Thomas is looking like a cancer.
Well, I know that.
Did you see the interview?
Isaiah Thomas had a point when he said, "Listen, the Cavs were bottom 5 defensive team before I even stepped on the court. Now all of a sudden, I'm the issue defensively."
Well, he's definitely not helping.
Well, look, there was bottom 5 before he got on the court.
Hey. Well, let's just say
they're still fifth worst in the league.
He's not going to take him past that for sure.
No, not at all.
By any means.
Not at all.
And then also, I mean, in the interview, the question itself was pretty stupid. I don't know if you guys saw it. The guy said, you think you should be concerned about your shot selection? He said no. And then he said, what do you think about that? The reporter said, well, some players in the locker room said that you should be, or there should be some concern.
I'm getting on he said, she said.
Exactly.
Really?
He wouldn't. The reporter would not say who said
Did
that.
Isaiah say who?
And then he asked, and then from there Isaiah went on this tangent about
Absolutely. They rubbed him the wrong way.
Why would they trade for him if they don't want me to do this and that?
Right. I mean, but look, that reporter set him up.
But come on, man. You have to know that you can't respond to these setups.
Absolutely.
Isaiah Thomas doesn't have the
Isaiah's not in he's not in the proper mental space. We saw that with the play with that, I don't even know what you want to call that thing he did to Andrew Wiggins.
That clothesline? Yeah. Assault with a deadly arm with a deadly hook on Andrew
short
Wiggins.
weapon.
Man, that guy kicked him with his arm.
And let's be clear, Andrew Wiggins wouldn't hurt a baby mongoose. Come on, Schwab.
Hey, how unprofessional is that?
Look,
What?
Schwab ain't had a phone call or a text message all week.
You know what?
All of a
You know what?
sudden
Go ahead and
mid-show.
answer it.
Nah,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
we don't need
Look,
to.
let us know.
I'm good to go.
Hey, do we need a sign before
rolling.
the episode
I
starts
don't even
to
think.
silence your cell
I
phones?
guarantee you, the viewers out there didn't even hear what just happened. You guys were the only ones that heard it.
They heard it.
In the middle,
Nobody heard that.
In the middle of my bloviation, everybody in No Hezzy land heard your phone go off. So, but yeah,
But IT's a cancer.
Like,
Oh, shout out to Cleveland though.
I wouldn't go that far yet, but right
what?
now he's definitely looking like like he's having a little issues falling in line.
I'm not gonna shout out Cleveland. I'm ready to see it burn. I'm ready to watch it burn. Let's
Bron-
watch. I want to see it all come crumbling down.
Bron's
in the playoffs.
gone.
Hey, Cavs second round exit this year.
Ooh.
Hey,
Ooh. Who would if the playoffs started today?
Washington
Who would they be playing?
If they play the Raptors, yeah, I say second round.
play the Bucks first round.
Ooh, Giannis jumps over Bron.
Second round they play either Miami or no, they play either Toronto or Indianapolis.
You think Milwaukee could give him a go?
I think Milwaukee will go in the first round.
Down.
They will beat them down. Here's the thing, though, about the Cavs. They're old and slow. There's nobody on their team besides Bron and a healthy Isaiah Thomas that's going to go out there and run.
I got another question, or I got another, we need to put a spotlight on this guy. Where the heck is Jay Crowder at? Like, what the heck is he doing?
Jay Crowder's been on a milk carton for
I think he's
weeks
having
now.
the worst season of his career right now.
Like, what's his deal? I don't get it. He didn't come. He wasn't hurt. And as a matter of fact, he was the deal sweetener. It was Isaiah Thomas and Jay Crowder.
He in
some
an
other guy.
glorified role in Boston?
No, I mean, listen, Jay Crowder's being asked to do something right now that, he's dressing the part, but he can't necessarily do, and that's consistently knock down the three ball.
He was doing it last year.
Yeah, the pressure's a little different when you're not playing with Bron.
So, all right, so is Bron making these guys worse?
Absolutely.
Is this
He's
Oh, so-
making-
wait,
Is
no,
it going to be
no, no,
Kobe
no.
effect?
He's making it
on
better
him?
and
no,
worse.
no,
He's making
no.
it better. Oh, here you
No,
go.
no.
Look, he's got the ammo he needed for his narrative. Now he's going to overpower everybody else just so he can spew it out.
No,
You know what?
The
Go
narrative,
right ahead.
The narrative
Go right
about
ahead.
Bron has always been that he makes everyone better, and now you're telling me he makes everyone worse.
Yeah, it's funny. It goes both ways.
That came out about how teammates were talking about how he's
He wants the assist pass.
movement to wait for assist opportunities.
All right.
All I'm saying is, I've been saying this about Bron for years, and people have been getting on me about it, telling me how he's better than my GOAT. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Exactly. That's it. They didn't want to come play with Kobe. They were so scared to play with Kobe in LA. Nobody wanted to come there.
They weren't even scared. They started disrespecting by the end. They weren't even taking meetings. They weren't even like coming to LA.
LA dipped out on LA because of Kobe, supposedly.
That's true. But, you see what he's looking like now.
Kobe
Hey, he's an all-star right now.
Kobe about to get an Oscar, so he ain't even worried about none of that no more. But anyway,
Shout out to Kobe getting an Oscar nom.
where we at, Schwab? Come on.
I don't know. I wanted to segue into something different. Back to our Oklahoma City because their offense has been balling right now. They've won 8 straight.
Mm-hmm.
I obviously the Robertson injury has been bad. The other night, here's the thing with OKC that scares me though. I was thinking about it. They really have the big 3: Carmelo, Paul George, Russell Westbrook, and then they have Steven Adams when he gets the pass in the open lane.
Mm-hmm.
But really, there's nothing else behind them. They've been relying on that kid from Australia, Terrence Ferguson.
They got a couple rookies, right?
See, I don't even know who else they have on their bench.
There was one other
Patrick
kid.
Patterson is one other guy. Who's the rookie?
I forget his name, man.
There's-
He looks pretty decent. He had a couple like big dunks the other
Terrence
day.
Ferguson.
No, he's the kid. That was the one I just said from
I know,
Australia.
I think that's the rookie you're talking about.
That's there's only one rookie. I think that's
Yeah,
him.
It might be him.
Because
Yeah.
he does knock down some shots. I did see a couple games where he was hitting some shots, but it seems like the only ones scoring are Russ, PG, and I mean either Carmelo or Adams is
Steven
getting
Adams,
15 to 20 a game just randomly. Do they